The Captain America comics of the 1980s were killing it, and the covers of that time period definitely reflect that. We are judging by the cover, that's what we do, and the People's Court is in session. We're looking at Captain America of the 1980s, arguably the greatest era in Captain America, and I'll argue with anybody about that. Now that's just my opinion, but I think it holds weight. I had a real hard time trimming down this list to 10 covers, because there's definitely a hell of a lot more than 10 great covers. But these are some of my 10 favorites. I had to be pretty picky about some of them. One name that I wish was on this list is Kieran Dwyer. He's a great artist. Kieran Dwyer did a lot of the interior art, in particular, of a lot of the Cap comics in the late 80s. That was my time when I loved picking that up off the newsstand. But man, this top 10 was hard to choose. Like and subscribe if you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter, man. Comment with whatever you want. If you think I'm wrong, so be it. But here we go. This is number 10. Captain America 322. Okay, and this came out in 1986 in July. And you see the flag smasher getting the best of Captain America, even reflected in the word mark here. It's black and white. When did you ever see that in Captain America? And look at the snow, the storm, creating so much movement on this image. Captain America looks like he's ready to fall off that precipice. And man, Flag Smasher is one step away from total victory. Fantastic cover. And there was another cover. Flag Smasher, first of all, appeared on quite a few dope covers during the 1980s. But one that didn't feature him but related to him was the one right before this, okay, in Captain America 321 by Mike Zeck, the great Mike Zeck. Look at the work on this. I didn't choose this in my top 10, and I feel kind of bad about it. The main reason I didn't is because it's a great piece of art, but it kind of meant to shock you to think, oh my God, Captain America with a gun, what's going on? And it's definitely a catching image, and you want to buy that issue. It's doing its job, but I just think it's not representative of what Cap is really always about, because of the shock value of it. Anyways, the top 10 is so strong that if this was any other era with any other level of competition, this would be a top 5. This is a great cover, but I love the top 10 so much. I really don't like how they did Flag Smasher in the series Falcon and Winter Soldier. Man, they ruined a great character. And him having Ultimatum, the organization at his disposal, which is why Captain America is busting off shots. This really happened in this issue. He ended up killing an Ultimatum soldier, or I guess you could say a henchman. But yeah, great cover. The competition is stiff. Number 9 is next, and I'm telling you, man, this top 10 is tough. Here we go. Captain America 340, Breakout. This issue's the cover here, I believe, was Ron Frenz. This is in 1986. Ron Frenz was a quality artist of this era. You see Mike Zeck and his name a lot in these covers. This one here features Steve Rogers as the captain. He had lost his title as Captain America by this point. And I remember he was I haven't read this issue in a long time, but he was on his motorcycle going through the States. In some place he got ambushed by these 4, the Griffin, Titania, Mr. Hyde, and Vibro, okay? And they're in their prison uniforms, and you see the menace of them coming out that darkness. I don't know. I mean, maybe some people wouldn't have picked this in their top 10, but I always remember this as a young man. This cover was, whoa, it's like Cap doesn't know what's coming. But it also reminded me a little bit of an issue that had come out years and years before, Captain America 251. with Mr. Hyde again creeping up on Cap. Here he's holding Batroc the Leaper in his grip. But another one of that era when Captain America was no longer Captain America, and that issue showed him tangling with pretty insurmountable odds, but he came out on top as he always does. We're gonna go on to the next one here, number 8. I love this cover. Who will be the next Captain America? Issue 333. This is 87. This era of Captain America was fantastic. I love the costume, empty and kind of flapping around in the wind, in the air. Beautifully drawn. And in the top left, in the box, I don't know what that part is called of a cover, but you see his face is obscured. There's some shadow there, and I like that. That's where you see somebody in the suit. But the thing that I enjoy about this cover is all the faces in the background and all the people that you damn well know are not gonna be the next Captain America. Okay, there's a lot of faces back there and I guess that's supposed to be Tony Stark to the left of the cowl. Kind of looks like Burt Reynolds to me. I don't know how that would have worked. And some of the ladies in the back, come on now. And Johnny Walker there as Super Patriot to the right. Well, we know what happened next. Beautiful cover though, and I love the red and the blue contrast. Simple, but very, very effective. All right, we're going on to the next one. This is number 7. Captain America 274. This is the oldest one that I have on my top 10. But there's a lot around this time, 1982, that was still pretty dope. This one, it's Mike Zeck again, and Cap going up against Baron von Strucker, the real one, not the one they killed off in Age of Ultron years ago. And you know, I dig von Strucker in a way. The monocle, man, you gotta respect any villain willing to maintain a monocle. Can you imagine the amount of muscle activity you need around your eye to keep a monocle in place? You know, looking all cockeyed and so on. You know, like that. You gotta be a real villain at heart to do that. But in this issue, General Sam Sawyer in the background there, fighting for his life, which he loses at the end in a heroic fashion. But this is the real Baron von Strucker, not the cheap imitation they got rid of at the beginning of that movie. And yeah, beautiful cover, but there's more great ones to go. This is number 6. All right, this one, Trick or Treat. Captain America goes to the Red Skull's house, and Dr. Faustus unleashes all of Cap's traumatic memories. And you can see he's got Porcupine in the top left, who had died, not necessarily Cap's fault, but he felt guilty about that. The Ultimatum Soldier that he had killed, MODOK, up there, down there in the bottom right. And I'm actually not sure who that is in the bottom left, but I'll let that slide. The art of this cover is beautiful, and you can even see Captain America's right leg is inside the mouth of the Red Skull there. This is a beautifully drawn cover. Mike Zeck, again, a true master of cover art during this time period. Yeah, so the next one here, years later. This is number 5, at the height of the battle between Johnny Walker, the former Super Patriot who had become Captain America back in 334, I believe, issue 334, or 333, around that time. This beautifully captures the plights of both of them. The Captain Steve Rogers, interrogated by the U.S. government, and those are the guardsmen behind, the armored staff or soldiers, basically. But originally, it was one guy, the guardsman. Then he just got Xeroxed. And then Johnny Walker on the right with a noose around his neck. Revenge from the Watchdogs, okay? Which was a cult-like group, all mad about censorship and all kinds of the filth in the United States. And in this one, they're getting their revenge on Johnny Walker, who had cracked down on them some issues before. And his parents are ultimately sacrificed in this, making him go mad. This is a great issue. A lot happens in this one. And this is the unmistakable work of Ron Frenz. I don't know if y'all could just immediately see it. But yeah, great work. Beautiful cover, just striking image. All right, and here's the next one. Number 4, we're in the home stretch. All right, now we're gonna start seeing some more of the Red Skull. In this issue, Captain America 298. This is towards the end of the Red Skull's life, and I'm gonna put that in quotation marks. You can see the old Johann Schmidt on the right, all wrinkled up, and the maniacal face of the Red Skull, and his history being told in this issue. It's a beautiful way of capturing different moments of his life, I guess. And in the bottom right, you see Captain America. This cover might have been higher up if maybe Captain America was bigger on the cover, but I don't know. It's a Captain America cover all about the Red Skull, but it's beautifully done. The life and times of the Red Skull. They had never really told his true origin until this issue. So it's a really, you knew that you were going to pick this up if you saw this on the newsstands. And this was in 1984, leading up to some very important events. 298, so you know they were planning something for 300. But I'm on to number 3, which is Captain America 327, where Steve Rogers does battle with the Super Patriot. Look at the movement and the action and the power and grace and the impact on this cover. The details, the inking, just take a look at the shadows on them. And it's simple in terms of the background, but it just works beautifully. You knew going into this that big things were happening, all right? And who would have thought that man on the left would ultimately become Captain America and then later the U.S. agent? But fantastic work and cover. Mike Zeck, again, just knew how to put it all in a cover. All right, and now we are reaching the silver medalist of this top 10. Number 2, Captain America 300. All right, Cap versus the Red Skull to the death. Now in this one, the Red Skull dies, at least in his original sense of death. He had been a very old man by this time. And Captain America had been aged unnaturally in this issue as well, so he was dying. That's why he is in a somewhat weakened and desperate state himself. I just love the desperation you can see in this fight. And the fact that it was Captain America 300, you knew that big things were happening in this one. Again, I mean, it's really hard. The competition for this top 10 of this era, you could easily do a top 20, and there's a lot of viable choices. But Captain America 300 knocked it out the park. What could be better than this one? Well, my number 1, my gold medalist for this is Captain America 332, Captain America No More. Everything about this is absolutely perfect. Okay, the hopelessness, the dejection, the dismay, the devastation that you can see in the pose of Steve Rogers, the futility that he must feel there, the slumped shoulders, the hands grasping for meaning. That's incredible work right there. Again, this is Mike Zeck and Klaus Janson on inks, a master of the inks indeed. The word mark being altered and tilted and no more being just as big as the Captain America. The tilt, the slant, the stars in the background, the bleeding red of the flag. And look at Abraham Lincoln in the top left with tears coming out his eyes. This is masterful work. I don't think anything could be better than this. And it's not only a great cover, it's an impactful moment in the history of Captain America. So this hits the metric on every level. That's my number one, man. Like I said, this top 10 was very hard to come up with. There's others that I didn't mention that I would have liked to. And one thing that really hurt me when compiling this list is that I couldn't fit Crossbones in on this. I love Crossbones. Crossbones is absolutely one of the most underrated characters, maybe in comics, dare I say. And I don't like how they did him dirty in the Avengers movies themselves either. So I don't know, man. There you go. You might disagree with some of my choices, but that's what I think of the top 10 Captain America covers of the 1980s. I'm gonna cover some other eras, some other top 10s, some other characters. I love covers. I love judging covers, and you can join in on the fun. So whatever you think of these covers, let me know. Holler at me in the comments. This is the Pop Culture Cosmonaut, and we're out of here.